Our next guest is the always entertaining Michael Sodini of Eagle Imports, and he joins us live. What's going on, man?
Oh man, just been traveling. It's good to see you. Been going all over the place. I've been making my runs around distributors. So I've been in Orlando, Phoenix. I've been going up to see Bi-Mart, Fred Meyer, all in Oregon. This is the behind-the-scenes sales stuff that I have to do.
So, because you're kind of like an arms, you're kind of like an arms dealer, minus like the potential for jail time and stuff like that, right? So, is it as glamorous as they make it seem in the movies?
Well, I would tell people yes. Like if I met someone, it has to keep that mystique. But it's definitely not. I tell people all the time. I'm like, listen, I travel like a rock star minus the drugs, the women. I find myself in places like Eugene, Oregon, in the offices. So, it's not as sexy. I will tell you this: Lord of War made my job like sexy.
Yeah. Yeah. So are you?
So death, it was you're like Nicolas Cage in Lord of War, and I'm like, exactly. That's exactly what I am.
there you have it. Before you know it, you'll have arms dealer groupies.
Like, shh! Don't tell anybody.
Yeah. Right. So how did things go for you at the NRA annual meetings?
The NRA was great. It was packed. It was super busy. I tried to see you. I saw you one time. I think at the very end. You are a rock star, by the way, surrounded by people.
It is a different. Let's just say it is incredibly humbling when you go from NRA conventions to coming home back to Dallas.
Right. No, seriously though, you had like a line of people that I cut in front of to like, hey, what's up, man? And literally, I was getting looks like, there's a line, sir.
You know, it's funny. It's the interesting thing about that is that is kind of part of what I have to do is actively managing, not pissing people off, because some people who don't realize there is a line, and then they'll try to come up, and then it's like, well, and then so it's like I don't want to piss off the people in the line, but then I don't want to piss off the person who's excited about coming up to the booth, didn't realize there was a line, and then is now embarrassed when I'm like, there's actually a line. Can you kind of go to the line there? So it's this active kind of like, don't make this person angry. It's just kind of part of my job now.
Price you pay for being Hollywood now, man. That's
I wouldn't necessarily. I think it borders along the same lines as you. It's kind of like you being an arms dealer. I'm a celebrity, but I'm not.
There you go. My friends were like, "Are you gonna catch up with them down there?" I said, "Man, I think we're so busy because like you know how that floor is. I mean, it's packed. I barely left my booth, but it's funny. I saw your posters, and I literally was like, I'm gonna take a picture, next to him so I could like kind of bust his balls and be like, dude, it was great catching up with you. But I do have some photos of us hanging out together. This one's at the fire. Okay, that's me and you hanging out. And this one's
Where the hell did you find that picture?
This is a Disneyland. And here's this last one. Everybody who's watching this at home, this is how hard he is to get a hold of. But this is us at medieval times. I wore my crown, and he wore his AR-15. Dude, you're impossible to get in here.
I hate you so much right now. So. You don't have the slightest clue. I hate you. Dude, do you know when I took that picture?
What is that?
I don't remember. It was that long ago. Like that was back in my skinnier days.
I like it though. You got your Yankee fitted hat on.
That was back in the days when I was still wearing True Religions.
There you go. No, but NRA was awesome. Obviously, you know how busy it is. My booth was packed. It was busy. I had all these. I share a booth with Dual, and they had this. They basically have all their products in there. So I got all that traffic in there. Besides people looking at the guns, but I had a guy who had this thing called the kaboom, and he would wear it on his head. And when he first walked up, I said, "God, man, this seems really tacky. Like I don't know if I want this guy in my booth." And the Dual guys were like, "Come on, he's going to bring a huge crowd." And sure enough, he brought a crowd. and it was crazy. But I was like, they turned my booth into like a swap meet. I was
Are
like,
you serious?
where's the airbrush overall guy, or where's like the DVDs for Time Cop and Mike Tyson's 10 greatest knockouts, and I want to win a fish later, like so. But that was what it was like, because I had a radio show in my booth as well, so it was slammed. But it was great. NRA's an awesome time.
I do have a confession.
Sure.
So the last day of the show, I was on the floor. I was doing, my required meetings and signings and things like that. And so when I got done, I said, "Oh, I got to go over, to your booth." And I started making my way in that direction, only to realize, and then it comes over on the loudspeaker, like, the show's now closed and it's over. So I tried. I made a valiant effort, but so yeah, that was my little minor confession for the day. I was gonna come by, and then the people stopped me. So you can blame them.
It's all good. It's all good. We got next year.
Well, next year. Here's the thing. Next year is gonna be in Dallas, right?
Right.
So now I'm gonna lose my anonymity if they do anything like they did in Atlanta with respect to the billboards, because I largely float around Dallas unknown. But now when I'm driving down 75, if they decide to put up a billboard with my face on it like they did in Atlanta, well, there goes my anonymity.
If you go out on a date, you just like figure out those in the background, like, hey, look, there's billboards all around.
I actively, when I go on dates, I actively avoid telling my dates who I am and what I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Like, they're like, "What's your Instagram?" I was like, "I'm not on Instagram."
And usually what happens when they figure it out? Because
one of two things: either they don't go away at all, or I never hear from them again.
Right.
So I mean,
Yeah.
it's always a crapshoot one way or the other.
It goes back to that angel of death thing, right? If you're involved in guns, it's like when I would be at bars and I would talk to girls and come like, "What do you do?" And I import firearms in the United States. And they're just like literally like, "You devil," like, "Oh my God." I'm like, "Yeah, I just file them off and just hand them to the back of people. It's just crazy, That misconception of he's in firearms, he has to be a bad guy, and he's he's contributing to the downfall of society.
Well, I mean, yours sounds a lot cooler. Like, I import firearms in the United States, Whereas me, I say I'm a gun rights advocate. 95% of people have no idea what that even means.
Yeah,
the other 85% don't even know what the word advocate means. So it's like I usually get this look like, "What? Like you're a what?" And then I say NRA, and then I'm an advocate. Let me have an NRA, and it's just, you just get these weird looks, especially when you're in Cali. The girls are just like, "What? What do you do?" And then you're like, "Okay," and you try to give some context, and then you kind of like say, "Okay, here's my social media page." It's like, "Oh, you have a lot of followers." That's all they notice, and then
Right.
so it's like, so none of it even matters anymore. It's just kind of like, oh. But
That's kind of made it okay, though. That's kind of made it okay. Like all this kind of like reality TV followers, that importance of stuff. As long as they see that you got millions of views on something.
It's like now all of a sudden it's okay, because before you thought I was the advocate for death. Now it's okay, right, because a lot of people follow the advocate for death. That now that's kind of the reason and rationale we use nowadays, right?
Yeah. Growing up in so many liberal places, which I have because being on the different coasts, it's funny because people hear NRA and I think they just automatically assume like this racist, like old people's club. You know what I mean? So it's hard for them to get behind, I think, guys, I say like yourself, or maybe me in some form or fashion, where they're just like, "Wait, you're part of that organization, or you stand behind that organization?" And you're like, "Yes." Like, it's about protecting your Second Amendment.
Right. It's like, I'm like, that's not cool. That's not cool. So being cool is dying, right? That's what's hot now.
They don't believe in that, but heaven forbid you tell them how to live their life. They're like, "Don't tell me what to do. I have rights."
I'm a member of PETA. Get out of here.
But here's my nice leather bag made out of cow.
No, man, it's hemp.
No, but overall, so NRA was a good show for you.
Yeah. NRA was a good show. I really, really enjoyed this show, man. It was definitely a breath of fresh air from the standpoint that, it just, the venue itself was just a nice venue.
Right.
You know, so that made, you know, the experience all the more better, you know, because half the times I'm walking around the show sweating, just because it's so hot in there because there's so many people. You know, it was big, it was spacious, the air was able to circulate. It was great. You know, I had Wi-Fi. You know what I mean? But I mean, it's gonna be here in Dallas next year at the Omni. I've been to Omni a couple of times. I don't really know what the convention center looks like, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I've done a few shows in
The
Dallas.
Safari Club show.
Yeah. There's been a few smaller distributor shows and stuff that they've done out of there, but I mean, I don't remember it being bad. You know what I mean? Okay. So I think it'll be a good spot.
Okay, fair enough. All right, we're gonna take a quick break, and we come back. We're gonna talk about some new guns or guns and stuff that goes, all the gun, you know, all the stuff you do that you import into the country.
Right, we'll give it a
the
shot.
person that you are. Yeah. We'll be back.